Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting podcast, now streaming on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We are back on campus to interview not an RSO today. It's going to be a department that we're interviewing today here on campus at GGC. It is GGC Student Employment, and of course, I'll plug their Instagram title in just a few seconds. Now, we do have a special guest. I'll let her introduce herself. You know how I love to do it. I love our guests to introduce themselves first, and then we get on with the questions. So, please.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I am Jayla Wilson, the HR Student Employment Coordinator here on campus. And as he said, I am not an RSO. This is actually the student employment brand for the on-campus employment here on campus. And we just wanted to share the word about student employment with you all today.
Absolutely. Now, student employment is very, very important for campus. Now, it's not only because you're finding jobs and you're getting jobs on campus. That's kind of the purpose, but it's another way to get involved with your community. That's why I see this department going at a good light, because it's also helping students get involved to different departments here on campus. We have Jayla here, and of course their Instagram is GGC_student employment. Again, that's GGC_student employment. They got over 100 followers right now. I encourage you guys, go follow them, because they've got a lot of good things coming out along with the podcast and the homecoming week. We'll talk about that a little bit later with Grizzly Fest week. But Jayla, I wanted you to kind of tell the Grizzly family what exactly is student employment for
Absolutely.
People who may not know about it.
Yes. So student employment, again, is just another form of income, but not just income. It is actually a great way for you to get involved on campus, actually build your references and experience, and you get to actually work with different departments. We have so many departments out here looking for so many different students, just really wanting to get them to be more involved so that way they can actually work one-on-one with our students here on campus that need assistance. So we have some departments like HR, for example. That's where I actually came in from. I was a student employee with the Human Resources Department for 4.5 years until I graduated, and then I came into this role. So it's actually a great way for you to build your reference and build your experience and definitely build your resume, for one. So there's so many departments. So like the gym is looking for physical instructors, and they want more students in the exercise science department, so that way you can start going ahead and getting into that field and learning how to be a physical instructor and actually get the chance to work one-on-one with students and actually build the courses and see how it feels to be in that role, so that way your experience is already there on your resume. And that's the main thing, is that everybody comes into different places and they're always like, well, I want to do this, but nobody wants to take a chance on me because I don't have experience. But if you start working on campus, you get that experience.
True story. Ladies and gentlemen, this is so true, because as many people, you guys know that I've been an RA for 2 years on campus, and most of you guys know I do property management on the side. That's where I was able to get the property management job, because they saw my light with GGC being an RA. So it's really true that, you know, if you're doing the job on campus that you're that's in your realm of career field or maybe in your major, it helps spread that light, so that way you go out there and they'll see it on your resume. Oh, you did this on your college campus? Okay, then how many years did you do it? And then they'll ask you for your references, and then you get hired on that. Just kind of how I did it, for sure. Student jobs, I see your post here on the Instagram. Of course, you got 4 steps, and we'll kind of go through a little bit on it. How was that like, the schedule around classes? Explain that to the students that may not be aware about scheduling around classes.
So with all on-campus positions, you have to provide them with your class schedule for the fall, spring, summer, whenever you're going in, so that way they know what your availability is. And as soon as you get hired, they'll ask for it again, and then they'll start to work around your classes. So with student positions, like for a federal work study, say your class was canceled, or if you have a class scheduled at all during that time frame, you cannot work during that time frame. So they'll work with you, either it's in between classes or it's after. So currently right now we have a student, and her schedule is in between. Some days we have her like 11 to 1, and then before she's already in class, and then after she goes right to class. Same thing. So whenever you're available is when they'll try to back at you. But they'll also try to make sure you have enough room to get from class to your building, or just to ensure that they work with you if you have a class test coming up. So that way they can let you time to study. If you have homework, just let your managers know. And they'll always accommodate. And that's the main thing that we strive for on this campus is student success. So not only are we trying to make sure that our students are helping our departments, but we want to make sure our departments help our students get their education.
That's really amazing, because not many jobs out there that will work with it. Luckily, my job does, but not many jobs will work with your schedule. And that's something that's very special to this department, is making sure that if you need time to study for an exam, because, students, we all know about full-time jobs, and then being a full-time student, about majority of us GGC students are doing it, and it's hard. But it's amazing to see the department that you guys are providing, making sure that it's scheduled around your classes. Again, take advantage of that, because, again, not many jobs are going to do that. When you get out there to the big world, you may not have that same view. So I always encourage the GGC students to take advantage of that for sure. And the next bullet point, convenience of working without leaving campus. Now, does this cater more towards our resident students that live on campus, or just
this is for all students in general? So say, again, like we said, it works around your schedule. So say you have a class, instead of having to run and go to your job off campus, you get to work right here on campus. So you get to just leave, say W, and you can go to I building and you can go to your job. Or you're leaving from A building and you need to go to the gym. It's right across the street. You can walk there. So everything is conveniently located right here on campus. We only house on-campus positions with student employment here. All the part-time stuff is definitely with Career Development Advising Center. They can assist you with those. But on campus is truly where we want our students to be, because we're here to assist you again. And the convenience of being right here on campus, where you can easily walk, even if you're leaving from class, and you can put your book bag in a cubby hole or wherever they have it housed for you, so that way you can get your employment done, and everything is there.
It's resources. Take advantage of those resources. Now, we're not going to focus so heavily on your Instagram. Again, that's GGC_student employment. But, you just got the information there, and we can ask more questions about it. So your next post is on here, and this session is really important. It's Orientation Leader Information Session. So you have one October 29th, and again on November 12th, starting from 2 to 3. That's a good time, GGC students, because 2 to 3 is our grace period. 2 to 3 is where most classes any classes are not really scheduled around that time. So it's an opportunity for you to go out. Of course, if you don't have another meeting or engagement to get to, take advantage of that. Now, I wanted to kind of peel that off a little bit. How is that like, the leadership information session? How is that like? What's the experience when you see students that come in and they're very eager to go to work at GGC?
So
How's
I
that experience
actually
like?
do not own that content. I just post it for the orientation, the new student connection program, so that way. But I do know a little bit about it, and what I can tell you is that they are actually actively looking for new students to start in the spring. And what this information session is going to basically about is really give you information about the position as a whole. So as you guys know, we did just previously do over the grace period of August, the on-campus employment, where we switched it up and had our student employees actually take on the role as a recruiter and share with you their actual employment experience here, working with the department, so you really get that information. That's what New Student Connections is trying to do with this Orientation Leader Information Session. They want to really get that information out there to really grab more students to get involved and really introduce our campus to new oncoming students, whether they're transfers or they're brand new freshmen coming in, so that way they can get welcomed, do the campus tours, all that information. They want to get it out there now, so before they even go ahead and post the position, you know what you're going into. You get that full experience ahead of time. So I know that's what they're trying to do, and we wanted to post it because it's an on-campus position. You're going to get paid for it. So why not share the job aid and actually have an ad out there, so that way our students know about it ahead of time?
Absolutely. Now, one question I do have for departments, and I only ask really departments about this kind of question because I know they have some leeway with that. I've been in different departments at GGC where they would go talk to a professor to have them speak in class for about the first 10 minutes of class. Is that something that you guys are planning on doing in the future? Is coming to these classes where it's appropriate, of course, to come in and kind of tell them about your department, to just start that recruitment process to to get them advocated to start working here on campus?
Well, I know before I became a full-time employee here, when I was in my student position, I actually joined our senior talent acquisition specialist when she attended. One of the professors asked her to come in and talk about LinkedIn, jobs on campus and everything. And because I was about to go into that role, she invited me to come with her. So I was able to actually talk to those students. And I know just from her experience and hearing the students' feedback, it's something that they want to know about. They want to see more of our departments out here really talking to us. So me personally, yes, for student employment, that's something that I look forward to trying to do, is really reaching more of our professors and trying to see if they'll allow us the opportunity to come in. Now, I know you said where it's appropriate, but it's always appropriate.
So, okay.
Because in every classroom, there's always students looking for an on-campus position that they need to know about, or there's always a student that's looking for a way to get the experience. And we, like I said, we have so many departments that have these positions open. Our students just don't know about them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're here to spread the light again for our fellow Grizzly family. Take advantage of that simply because, this is, again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, is a neat experience. You're learning about the culture of GTC, of course, and then you're able to have a job out there, and it helps out with your resume too, because again, when you go to these outside jobs outside of campus, you might hear back from them the next day, or you might hear back from them from months from now.
Absolutely.
But with student employment, you guys are very consistent. You're, okay, here's what we can do for you, here's what we have. It's very responsive, it's very quick. And that's, again, we're in this day and age now that a lot of students are looking for something good, but they need it now. They need it like soon, because, you never know every student's position. So next to the last question is, it's Happy Homecoming Week for our fellow Grizzlies. That's going to be a joyous time. Actually, Grizzly Fest will be Saturday. I believe it's 10 to 2. So, will we be seeing GGC student employment there?
We may not have a table, but you will definitely see Miss Jayla Wilson out there, and I will be posting my picture so that way everybody actually knows who your HR student employment coordinator is. But I will definitely be out there. I'll be bringing my niece and my family as well, because we will be partaking in the festivities, and we want to celebrate with all of you all, just to really experience homecoming outside of being a student, but really seeing the staff side of it. And I've attended homecoming, but I've never actually attended homecoming fest. It's always been on a weekend where I've been gone volunteering, so never had the opportunity. So this year I made it my prerogative to go ahead and do it. So I'll be there with my family, so you may catch me walking around, and I will definitely be somewhere where you'll see it says student employment. So come find me, and I'll be in the crowd. Yeah,
absolutely. She'll be there. If you have any questions, please go up to her, ask her a question about it. GTP, Grizzly Talk Podcast, will be there as well doing some podcasting, so that's going to be a fun time on Saturday. Another way that you guys can get in contact if you're looking for inquiry, of course, I do have the website here linked on your Instagram, so it's jobs.ggc.edu. Again, that's jobs.ggc.edu. Check them out if you're looking for an inquiry, Grizzly family, to that website. You have a school email that some students can reach out?
Yes, you can also reach me at jwilson24@ggc.edu. And then also as another resource, again, because my main thing here on campus is to really build the student employee brand, but also to help you all find a position. So one of the things that I can do, if you want to arrange a sit down time with me, and I can even invite you over to the office and we can really talk about where you want to be in life, what kind of position it is, and we can try to find something here on campus that would fit you perfectly. But one of the things that many students try to do is just jump into a role where it's mainly, I just need the source of income. But even if that's the case for you, we want you to still try to find a way to connect that back to your actual goal, where you want to be with your major, what kind of position it is. So that's what I really want to start doing, is building that connection between, even if it's just something you jumped into and you just wanted the income, how do you connect that back? So that's what our main goal here on campus is, to really build that experience for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good, as she mentioned, of course, finding that connect, because sometimes you don't want to have a job just to say, oh, I need money, because you're going to be unhappy with it. So again, I encourage the Grizzly family students, of course go to GGC student employment, but find that job on campus where you'll have You'll like Kid, of course. You'll have fun with it. You'll find the culture. You'll find the connection, because you know what they say out there: if you're having fun at work, you're not really working. And that's a true statement. Absolutely. For sure. For sure. Now, before we close with the podcast, of course, we did it in RSO. Again, this is not an RSO, ladies and gentlemen. This is a school department. We like to do shout outs. So maybe if someone that's in the office that you want to shout out, your family, you mentioned your niece, you can do all the shout outs. The floor is yours, Jayla.
Okay. Well, again, I am Jayla Wilson, your HR Student Employment Coordinator. Contact me at jwilson24@ggc.edu. I am shouting out the Human Resources Department, which is where student employment lives. So please, HR, whoop whoop, we're here for you. My family, of course, Peyton Adele, that's my niece, and she's amazing. But mainly, of course, GGC. That is my home. I've been here almost 5.5 years now. So we are GGC 1.
Yeah, Grizzly, we out here being great here on the campus for sure. So that's going to do it for the Grizzly Talk podcast as we talk to GGC Student Employment. I'm just going to plug their Instagram one more time. It's GGC_Student Employment. That's GGC_Student Employment. So you guys can follow there. Huge following. Follow them on their Instagram. We'll be right back later this week for more podcasting as we gear up for the Grizzly Fest on Saturday. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of RSOs and departments on the lawn, and we'll be there to do some interviews. Thank you so much, Jayla, for coming on the podcast for sure. That's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you guys in the next podcast.